So hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're doing the movie for What If Naruto Had the Rinnegan, aka the full series. So yeah, this is going to be the full series for What If Naruto Had the Rinnegan. Please make sure to subscribe and like, because that helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And yeah, also if you don't know, this is a new mic, so if my audio quality right now is a lot better, do understand that this is a new mic. I am going to make a new video on this, so watch out for that. And yeah, I don't want to waste your time too much. Let's get right into the video. Now, quickly, we have to go back to the time that Naruto was born, during the incident where Obito came, and Minato just destroyed Obito, just like he did in the original. But after being stabbed by the Nine Tails, I guess, I don't know if you would call it stabbed, just, pierced in the stomach, he realized that he had to do it, and he decided to put the Nine Tails inside of Naruto. And in this one, he didn't put the entire, he didn't just split the Nine Tails, he put the entire Nine Tails inside of Naruto. And when he did this, he died from using the Reaper Death Seal. And meanwhile, Naruto, now having the Nine Tails sealed within him, something happened. And, since he has Sage of Six Paths power within him technically, he is the reincarnation of a half Otsutsuki. He is basically a demigod. Maybe not yet, but he does become one later on in the series. So his Sage of Six Paths power, combining with the Nine Tails chakra, leads to this reaction fusion that gives Naruto the Rinnegan. And Kushina, before dying, sees Naruto's eyes go purple with black rings around it. And she doesn't quite understand what these eyes are, but she senses a huge amount of power coming off of Naruto. And Hiruzen, arriving just on time, also sees this, but only for a split second, because after Naruto blinks, the eyes are gone. They're back to Naruto's normal blue, innocent eyes, leaving no trace whatsoever of the Rinnegan. Kushina, seeing Hiruzen, utters her dying words, saying, "Please take care of Naruto. And Naruto, remember to eat your vegetables," and, all that other stuff that Kushina says. But with that, both Minato and Kushina die, leaving Naruto and the Nine Tails under Hiruzen's care. Now, this is when we time skip, and we already know how Hiruzen looked after Naruto, just he didn't really look after him really well. So, yeah, we're time skipping all the way, I don't know exactly how much, but 4 or 5 years later, all the way over to the time where the incident with Hinata happened. Now, Naruto was just walking around one day, and he saw Hinata, who he didn't actually recognize, being bullied by a group of 3 kids. Now, Naruto, knowing that what they're doing is wrong, stood up to the bullies, saying that they shouldn't be doing that. But the bullies didn't seem to care, and they just kept doing what they were doing. But Naruto interfered with them and started yelling at them to stop. And the bullies stopped and turned around looking at Naruto. And then one of them started to chuckle, as all 3 of them started laughing at Naruto, saying, "Yeah? And what are you gonna do about it?" As Naruto said, I'll fight you." And this just led to more laughter, with the kids saying, "You sure?" And Naruto's like, yeah. As the kids ran in at Naruto and started beating him up, really bad at that. And Naruto couldn't do anything. He was weak, as Naruto just kept getting beat up knowing that he couldn't do anything about it. He was desperate. He needed power. Why was he so weak, so useless? He couldn't do anything. I mean, this was when he needed it most. He was being beat up by a bunch of kids and he couldn't do anything about it. As Naruto tried to summon all of the energy he had within him, as his eyes suddenly turned purple, and Naruto felt weird, but he felt strong and he liked it. As he stood up, and the boys backed away, as Naruto said, "Come at me." And the boys were scared, but the bullies just ran back in saying, "Yeah, well, we'll just have to beat you up more." And they started trying to beat up Naruto, but they stood no chance. Naruto could see everything in slow motion. As one of the bullies' fists came down at him, he saw it moving slowly, as he just caught his fist with his hand, saying, "Too slow," and kicked him in the gut, sending him flying into a tree. And then the other one came, trying to kick him, but Naruto just easily blocked it and punched him in the face and landed him into the snow. And the final one just ran away after seeing Naruto's incredible strength. And then Naruto's eyes reverted back to how they were, and Naruto didn't know what just came over him, as he started crying and ran away. Meanwhile, Hinata was even more confused than Naruto was. One moment Naruto was being beaten up, and then his eyes turned purple, and he knocked two of those kids out. That was weird. Now, Hinata still does end up having a crush on Naruto, because Naruto did still save her life, but she has conflicted feelings about him, because she's also kind of scared of Naruto, like not embarrassed and nervous around Naruto, but she's kind of like intimidated by him and the things that she doesn't know about Naruto. So Naruto going home was just as confused as Hinata, saying, what was that strength, that power? I never felt that before. As he tried to do it again, but it just didn't work. So after spending the whole day trying to recreate that feeling, decided to go to sleep and try again next time. And the next day, next week, over the next month, he just kept training and training and training, trying to get that feeling, that surge of power, that adrenaline all over again. He needed it. He just wanted to feel that incredible strength he had felt one more time. He wanted to learn how to control it. Why had it happened, and why wouldn't it happen again? How could he activate it? What was how was he supposed to activate it? And what even was that power? These were all thoughts flowing through Naruto's mind as he continued to do his 300th push-up of the day. And he was exhausted as he decided to try again. And he searched deep within himself, trying to find that rage, that feeling again that he had felt during that fight. And he screamed and he shouted, saying, "Come on!" As suddenly he felt it. He had done it. As he looked around, he could see everything in slow motion. He felt strong. An incredible surge of chakra and power had just come over him, and now he felt invincible. It was almost like a moment ago he was weak and could do nothing. He had no power. But now, there was nobody in the world that could stop him. He had as much power as he would ever need, as he concentrated, trying to remember this feeling, trying to understand what was going on, as he tested his power out, deciding to punch a tree, and it just collapsed under the incredible strength of his fist. And Naruto was shocked. He had done it. He had found this power, the power of the Rinnegan, again. And now, actually concentrating on this feeling, he felt like now that he had awakened it, he would be able to, he knew how to do it again. It's almost like riding a bike. Once you learn it, you can't forget it. And that's really how I'm gonna have this dojutsu work. It's a lot like any other dojutsu. Once you awaken the dojutsu, you are free to use it whenever you want to. And so for the next multiple years, I'm pretty sure until he's 8, because that's when he goes to the academy. So until he goes to the academy, for years, I guess, he just practices using the Rinnegan and testing out his incredible powers. And by the time he's ready for the academy, he's actually mastered one of the moves of the paths. So I don't remember the name. I'll search it up in a second. But he basically mastered the path that lets him use lasers and missiles, kind of like the cyborg path. That's not its name, I know for sure, but the path that it does the whole lasers, missiles, and electronic stuff. So Naruto has basically mastered that path. Not to mention, he has a lot more control over his Rinnegan now, judging the fact that he's been literally using it training with it for years now. At this point, when he comes to the academy, he is a lot stronger than in the original. Now, this is first of all because he has been doing a lot of physical training, and so he is really muscular, and not really muscular like a bodybuilder, but he's pretty fit. He gets his daily exercise in every day. So yeah, he's really strong and durable, and honestly, he's just really strong and basically out of everyone's league. Anybody in the academy stands no chance against this Naruto. Now, on his first day at the academy, he gets there early, being super excited to finally be able to try his amazing powers on somebody else. He feels this rush of energy, this excitement, as he heads to class, and he realizes he's the first one there, so he just goes in and takes a seat, and he starts waiting. Anyways, he ends up waiting for a whole 30 minutes, seeing as to the fact that he is very early. I mean, he's the polar opposite of Kakashi, who's always late. Now, when everyone arrives, Iruka decides that they're gonna have a small test to kind of see where they're at the beginning of the school year, I guess. And basically, they have the endurance test, where Naruto completely outclasses everyone, including Sasuke, who Naruto, he just does a lot better than even Sasuke, who has been training with Itachi for a while. He just does better than him at everything, and Sasuke gets jealous of Naruto, as Naruto keeps doing all of the tests better than Sasuke, except for the shuriken and kunai throwing test, where Naruto's not the best. I mean, he's better than the original, but not the best. Sasuke is, in fact, the best. But it all comes down to the spar. And at this point, Naruto and Sasuke have already developed a sort of rivalry where they're trying to, really see who's the best. But both of them are thinking, this is going to be the time I show my dominance. I'll show him that I am stronger. And this is going through both of their heads as they get called up onto the arena to spar with each other. Now, as they both get on, Naruto and Sasuke, after doing the sign thingy, they start sparring. And at first, they're on equal ground almost. But after a while, it starts to become clear as, Sasuke's experience and in combat just comes out as it becomes really clear that Sasuke has a lot more experience and skill in taijutsu, and although Naruto might have speed and some overall strength, he doesn't really have a lot of good technique since he, is self-taught. So Naruto starts getting pushed as Sasuke has the upper hand and is almost beating Naruto, and he basically almost got him out of the circle like 3 times already. And Sasuke is like, okay, I've had enough of this. And he starts weaving hand signs. And Naruto realizes what's going on, as so does Iruka, as Iruka's about to step in, but it's too late. Sasuke says, "Fireball Jutsu!" and just blasts his attack in Naruto's direction. And for all everyone else can see, that was a direct hit, probably easily knocking out Naruto and giving him like some 3rd-degree burns. Like, Naruto is out. Well, that's what they think. As Sasuke stands up with a proud smirk on his face, saying, "Ha, I knew it would be easy," as Naruto puts a hand on Sasuke's shoulder from behind him and says, "Oh, really? Well, we'll see," as Sasuke turns around to see Naruto with eyes gleaming purple as Naruto punches Sasuke with such incredible brute strength that Sasuke gets knocked out, flying like meters into the air and way out of the entire academy training ground, as he's just launched into another dimension. Not literally, but he is launched so far away from Naruto's punch, as Naruto closes his eyes, reverting them back to their normal blue form, and he stands up proud, saying, "See, I knew I could beat Sasuke. I'm better than him." But then he's confused to see the shocked and disgusted faces on all the students. What had he done wrong? I mean, he beat Sasuke, and that move he did to dodge Sasuke's fireball, that was amazing. Why weren't people clapping, applauding Naruto? But all he saw were faces of disgust, and they all seemed to hate Naruto, hoping that, wishing that Naruto didn't even exist. And at that moment, Naruto realized it. He wouldn't fit in this world. Nobody really liked him anyways. And Naruto already knew this, but he just realized that his time in the academy wouldn't be as fun as he originally wished it would be. He thought maybe in the academy he would finally be able to find friends and actually have fun, where people acknowledged him, appreciated him for his strength and talent. But it seemed his strength only made it worse, as he looked around to see villagers who had been watching from the sidelines booing Naruto, saying, "Boo, it's the demon child. He shouldn't even be allowed in the academy." As Naruto ran out of the academy, running home as fast as he can, crying, as that night he saw nightmares of villagers just booing and just shouting mean stuff at Naruto, and it was just a terrible night for him. And the next day, when he came to the academy, he was in terrible shape. He had no motivation whatsoever, and for the rest of for almost 3 days, he was kind of emo. But afterwards, he kind of turned into the Naruto we all know from the original, where he kind of becomes this hyperactive kid. Okay, so now, unfortunately, all of the recording from after this literally just got cut out. Now, there is literally 15 minutes of recording that I did that literally just didn't work. So I actually recorded that 1 week ago, and then for the entire rest of the week, I had no time to re-record what I lost, which is kind of why I'm posting this so late. This is supposed to be the 100 sub special, and I'm almost at 150 subs. So, it's just it took a long time for me to make this video because all the footage cut out, and then I didn't have the time to re-record all of this, and it's really hard to re-record, but I am back now. I'm sorry for any background noise because I'm not recording at a good time just to finish this video. So yeah, let's continue. Basically, I'm pretty sure where I left off was Naruto was basically at the academy, and he had just done the sort of sparring with Sasuke, and yeah. Now, for the rest of the academy, Naruto just constantly breaks records, since now that he has the Rinnegan, chakra control isn't a big problem for him, and he no longer keeps failing and everything, and people just, he's not that bad anymore. He really just starts breaking records at school on all the things, and he's on the top of his class by far. Sasuke almost doesn't even stand a chance against Naruto. And to be honest, in the graduation exam, I'm not even gonna go over it. Naruto once again fights Sasuke, with Sasuke trying to go in, fireballing him, anything. But Naruto, after just using his Rinnegan, once again punches him right out of the ring with no problems whatsoever. And Naruto also does all of the other things, and he passes as Rookie of the Year. Now, on his way home, Naruto realizes that he's being followed by someone. And when he turns around, trying to find the place that this chakra is coming from, he sees Sasuke following behind him. As Naruto asks, "Why are you here? What are you doing?" And Sasuke replies swiftly saying, "I'm here for a rematch. That's what I want. I'm gonna beat you this time." And Naruto just chuckles and accepts, because he's not really scared that he'll lose to Sasuke. As Naruto says, "Okay, well, what are the rules?" And Sasuke just says, "There are no rules, just whoever gets knocked out or admits defeat will lose. There is no circle this time. You can't just knock me out of the circle to win." And Naruto says, "Okay, if that's what you want. But don't try too hard, okay? Don't really make me have to knock you out. Just surrender when you know you're gonna lose." And Sasuke says, "Yeah, I'll be the one losing." And Naruto in his mind is just wow, Sasuke actually thinks he can beat me. I feel bad for him. But they just get into their stances, and Sasuke says, "Start." Now, the instant Sasuke utters the words "start," Naruto just uses a missile from the Asura path and just explodes it in Sasuke's face, and Sasuke is immediately knocked out. Now, Naruto, being a caring friend, carries him back to his house. Get it? Carrying? Never mind, it's a bad joke. Anyways, Naruto carries Sasuke back to his house, seeing as he's knocked out, and the next day, Sasuke gets better again, and Team 7 gets in to the academy for their teams to be announced. Now, Iruka announces that Team 7 will be Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. And most people are mad because, why are the two best people in the class on the same team? Like, originally in canon, the logic was Naruto is the worst, Sasuke is the best, and Sakura is somewhere in the middle, so this is a balanced team. And here, though, it's kind of just like putting the best people in the same team, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, but Sakura's not complaining because she's with Sasuke, so she doesn't really care. Anyways, they have to wait for a long time for Kakashi to arrive because Kakashi is Kakashi, and Kakashi is just always going to be late. After arriving, he gives one of his lame excuses and tells them to meet him on the roof. On the roof, he tells all of them to give an introduction, and Sakura does her whole, I like a certain someone. I don't like a certain someone, looking at Naruto. And then my goal is to be someone's wife. And just like Kakashi sighs, being like, not another one of these. And then Sasuke does his whole emo thing, being like, I don't have any likes, I don't have any dislikes. My goal is not a goal because I will make it a reality. Which doesn't make any sense because that's still a goal, but okay. And Naruto's things don't really change as much either, except after saying he likes ramen and he wants to become Hokage, he also says that he wants to be the strongest shinobi ever. And Kakashi's like, whoa, aren't you getting a little ahead of yourself there? But he doesn't really say anything. All he says is, well, you'll have to meet me by the training grounds tomorrow, and make sure not to eat anything, because we have a big test, so just be ready. And then he poofs in the smoke, showing that he was a shadow clone all along. But that is where I'm going to have to end this episode off. So, the last time we left off, Team 7 was getting ready for the bell test. And Naruto, having eaten, even though Kakashi told him not to eat, including Sasuke and Sakura, who actually didn't eat, which they didn't know was a bad thing, were all heading to the training grounds to meet Kakashi. Little did they know Kakashi wouldn't be there for a long time. They ended up waiting for like an hour for Kakashi to arrive until he popped out of nowhere and said, "Oh, I got lost on the path of life." Or did he use another excuse that time? Doesn't matter. He just said something like that. But Team 7 wasn't buying it and just told Kakashi to go on with whatever this entire test thing was. And Kakashi explained the rules of the bell test, saying that this was something called the bell test. And basically, they would have to get the 2 bells from Kakashi. The person who didn't get the bell would be failed and go back to the academy. Now, Sakura, being very unhappy with this, was like, "No, that's unfair. We worked hard to get to here." But Kakashi was just like, "Oh well, you gotta reprove your worth by taking this bell from me." And Sakura just was like, "Fine." And Sasuke was like, "Yeah, I bet I can do it. Like, we're supposed to pass this after all. He's not purposefully trying to fail us all, so it can't be too hard." Sorry guys, I'm back now. I just had to do something really quick. So yeah, they just thought, after all, we're supposed to pass this, so there must be some way we can pass. Can't be that hard. And so Kakashi just says start as all of them run into the forest. Now, Kakashi just sits down and starts reading his book. Now, seeing this, Naruto just runs out of the bushes and starts attacking Kakashi, being enraged by the fact that Kakashi would literally go to this extent, just like okay, you have to get this from me, this is a big deal, and then just sit down and start reading. So Naruto was pretty angry, and he started rushing at Kakashi full speed and tried punching him, but Kakashi was gone. And Naruto had no idea where Kakashi was, but then he saw Kakashi behind him. As Kakashi said, "Secret technique, 1,000 years of death," and Naruto just went flying. And Naruto went at Kakashi again after landing, but then he tripped on something, as he felt something tighten around his ankle as he was pulled up into a tree, realizing that now he was stuck in a trap dangling from a tree, held by a rope. And Naruto was mad, to say the least. And he said, "Let me out now!" And Kakashi said, "Nope, no can do," as Naruto used his one free hand to pull out a kunai and threw it at Kakashi. But Kakashi dodged it easily. And while Naruto was throwing the kunai, Sasuke found it as the perfect opportunity where Kakashi was distracted to run in and take the bells. But unfortunately for Sasuke, he was very wrong and had miscalculated Kakashi's strength, because the instant he ran in, Kakashi just punched him in the gut, sending him flying. And Sakura, seeing both Sasuke and Naruto fighting, just decided that to show herself. But since she wasn't very confident, she just walked out and stood there and pulled out a kunai. Now, Kakashi was like, "Okay, you gonna do something?" And Sakura just stood there saying nothing, as Sasuke, meanwhile, got back up, saying, "Okay, this time I'll get them," and rushed at Kakashi again. But Kakashi is a Jonin after all, so he's not that dumb. And he just Sasuke and Kakashi get into a heated taijutsu battle, just like in the original where they started fighting, but eventually Kakashi would come out on top. And right when he was about to hit the finishing blow to knock Sasuke out, he felt an incredibly powerful punch hit him in the side of his chest. And by the time he looked, it was too late. But he saw Naruto, standing there, as his eyes were purple with black rings. Now, Kakashi didn't quite understand this, but he felt Naruto was different. He had a different aura around him. He had so much more chakra and strength. And Kakashi tried running in again, just to quickly get rid of Naruto. But Naruto used the Asura Path to send some missiles at him. And Kakashi sent a fireball in return. But Naruto had the Preda Path and used that to absorb the entire fireball. Now, Kakashi was stunned. Not only had Naruto breaking loose, got an incredible punch on him, and sent missiles at him from nowhere, he also absorbed his jutsu. And while Kakashi was thinking, Naruto once again switched to the Asura Path, and this time, not only did he send a bunch of missiles, but he also sent lasers in Kakashi's direction. And Kakashi was able to dodge all of them, except for one laser that got a small scratch on his left arm, and another one that got a little bit of a hit on his waist. Now, Kakashi was like, "You might be strong, but it won't be that easy to beat me." And Naruto started walking up to him as Kakashi got back into his stance. But then Naruto stopped, crouched down, picked something up from the ground, and showed it to Kakashi, saying, "I don't need to beat you. I already passed. I got the bells," as he threw the bells to Sakura and Sasuke. And then that's when Kakashi realized it. When Naruto sent the lasers in Kakashi's direction and cut his waist, he wasn't trying to cut him in half. He was just trying to cut the rope of the bells so that they would fall off. And Kakashi had been so immersed in the battle that he completely forgot the entire point of the thing. Now, Naruto, just after passing the belts to everyone else, Kakashi just says, okay, you pass. And he explains the true purpose of what the belt test was for, saying how it was about teamwork. And since they kind of did teamwork, I guess they can all pass. But then he walks up to Sakura and says, you try helping your team a bit more next time, okay? Because you were kind of useless. And Sakura is like, useless is my middle name. Well, she didn't actually say that, but she should have, because it's true. Anyways, after that, Team 7 becomes an official team, and they start going on missions. But the missions are just too easy for Naruto and for everyone. Catching cats and helping old ladies cross the road, and literally doing grocery shopping for villagers. It's just not fun or challenging at that for anyone. So next time they find Hiruzen, they ask him for a harder mission. And Hiruzen, knowing that Team 7 is very powerful and capable, he decides to give them a mission to escort Tazuna. Now, basically, Tazuna just comes in and he's like, do you expect these kids to escort me? You know who I am. Basically, Tazuna does this whole thing, and Team 7 is like, bro, this is the guy we're escorting of all people. And Hiruzen tells his Anbu to take him away. And sorry if there's a lot of pauses in my talking. It's just there's something going on right now, so I might end up cutting the video a lot or pausing a lot just to do something else and then come back. So I'm really sorry if that does happen. Just I'll try to concentrate on the story. Anyways, the next day, they all head out to the front gate areas of the village, and there they meet Tazuna, who is now all sober, and he really just apologizes for, shouting at them the previous day, and they head off on their way. Now, as they were heading, Naruto was like, it's hot out here, and everyone was so tired because they didn't have enough water and it was just so dry and warm outside that they were all extremely tired. And, Naruto was looking around like, oh my god, is there any water anywhere, like a lake or anything? And as he was looking around, he saw something that caught his eye. He saw a puddle. And at first he was like, yes, finally, a puddle. But then, as he was about to approach it, he noticed something. A puddle. But why? If it is so warm and it hasn't rained in so long, there's no way this puddle is real. As Naruto decides to walk on, but he turns on his Rinnegan and he looks back into the puddle. As when he looks back into the puddle, he sees the chakra signatures of two people standing in the ground or inside the puddle, which is a genjutsu after all. And Kakashi, seeing that Naruto just activated his Rinnegan, is like, okay, Naruto knows for sure. And the rest of Team 7 and Tazuna, seeing that Naruto's eyes just went purple again, they're like, wait, is something wrong? And Naruto, all he does is lifts his arm, points it at the puddle, and shoots a missile, a huge rocket, right into it, using the Asura Path. And this is a huge rocket, and the Asura Path is pretty OP. So both of the demon brothers are exploded, and if both of them don't die, they at least lose limbs or, something like that, because literally this is a huge explosion from basically perfectly on target explosion from a Rinnegan ability missile. So there's really no way they can survive. Anyways, Sakura and Sasuke are just like, whoa, Naruto, yo, that was pretty, that was crazy. They don't have words for it. First of all, they're like, wow, how did Naruto know that they were there? And second of all, they're like, Naruto just killed those people. But Naruto and Kakashi didn't really seem to care, and they just kept walking on, so Sakura and Sasuke decided to do the same. Now, as they continued walking on, they just kept walking, and I guess they found water somewhere. Or they had water with them the entire time. I don't know. They got all the water they need, and now they're all hydrated. But Naruto is on guard now, seeing as he just realized that enemies were attacking them. So he is definitely ready for anything that might come in their way. Now, because of this, Naruto just keeps his Rinnegan active, and this does not exhaust him because, he's not like Kakashi, because his Rinnegan is natural. He naturally has that Rinnegan. It's just kind of like a part of him. It's a natural Rinnegan, so it's not like Kakashi, where using Kakashi's Sharingan is really exhausting for Kakashi. This is different. The Rinnegan is a natural part of Naruto, so he doesn't really get exhausted or anything from always having the Rinnegan active. In fact, I don't know why he doesn't do it. The reason he doesn't do it is he's scared that people will judge him and all of that stuff, but if he has to, he can keep it on 24/7. Just so you know. Anyways, Naruto has it on, and immediately he notices some rustling, something moving in the bushes, as he instantly throws a kunai in the direction, and turns, and he tries to look at what it was, and it's just a white rabbit. Now, this is kind of confusing for Team 7 because they don't know what a white rabbit is doing in this area of all places, but they just decide not to question it. But then Kakashi says duck, and Team 7, just all of them ducks as a huge blade swings right over them and lands in the tree behind them. And on top of the blade lands Zabuza. Now Zabuza does his entire speech, was like, I'm Zabuza Momochi, demon of the mist, and you must be Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja. And so he does his whole thing where he does the whole talking, and Kakashi's like, yo, this is like a B rank mission, and no, C rank mission. And there's this A rank villain from the bingo book hunting us down. This isn't like what this is supposed to be. I'm gonna question Tazna after this fight. And Kakashi just says, stay back guys, I'll handle this, as he starts fighting Zabuza. Now the entire fight with Zabuza goes just like in canon, and basically it's literally just the same, where Kakashi gets trapped in the water bubble prison thingy after a long time of just fighting with Zabuza. He gets trapped in the water prison. Now, after that, Naruto realizes that he has to do something, and immediately he decides to use his Rinnegan. Seeing as to the fact that it was already active, he just rushes straight at Zabuza without any of Sasuke's help. And Zabuza, seeing him, is like, oh, you wanna fight me? As Naruto sends 3 missiles in Zabuza's direction. And Zabuza has a lot of trouble dodging these, and almost can't dodge them, because Naruto with the Rinnegan is, the Rinnegan, I'm saying this for the 5th time already, but the Rinnegan is really OP. So, Zabuza can barely dodge these without letting go of Kakashi in the water prison. But after Naruto comes in for a punch, there's really not much Zabuza can do. And now that Kakashi is free, so they do the whole thing where Kakashi copies Zabuza's water dragon jutsu. And normally, Zabuza and Kakashi's water dragon jutsus clash, but now Naruto has the Predator Path, and unfortunately for Zabuza, the Predator Path can absorb all chakra attacks. So what Naruto does is he absorbs Zabuza's entire water dragon, making the making Kakashi's water dragon so powerful that it ends up killing Zabuza. Seeing this, Haku steps in and goes to investigate Zabuza's body, looking at it, saying, "Zabuza, he's dead." And then Haku turns around, shooting a death glare at Naruto and Kakashi, saying, "You killed my master, and for that, you must die. You must pay with your lives." And immediately, Haku rushes in. And Haku is one of the fastest characters in the Naruto universe. But Kakashi with his Sharingan active and Naruto with his Rinnegan, they can perceive all of Haku's abilities. And this is also when Sakura can't do anything. Sasuke goes into the fight, joining in and trying to help them out. Now, this is when just Kakashi and Naruto are fighting Haku in an intense battle as Haku starts throwing Senbon at them. Now, Naruto and Kakashi are mostly able to deflect the Senbon, and so is Sasuke. Sasuke starts fighting Haku just with taijutsu, just like he does in the original, in the battle with the bridge. And originally, Sasuke can keep up with Haku, but afterwards, Haku starts speeding up and getting faster and faster, and Sasuke just can't keep up anymore, as Kakashi and Naruto rush in at Haku, trying to finish the battle. But Haku has other plans, as Haku says, "Demonic ice mirrors," as a bunch of mirrors made of ice come up around not Team 7, just Kakashi and Naruto, leaving Sasuke on the outside. Now, Kakashi, seeing this, immediately is like, okay, so, well, I'll do a fireball. And Sasuke, being outside, also does a fireball. And both of them use a great fireball jutsu, both from the outside and the inside, trying to destroy Haku's ice mirrors. Now, we know from the original that if they had done this, it would have been very effective. But we also know that a fireball jutsu is not enough to destroy Haku's ice mirrors. So it's safe to assume that, this won't be all it takes to finish off Haku. And although it's a lot more effective than the fireball jutsu Sasuke tried in the original, it's still just not enough. And Haku starts throwing Senbon from all directions. Now, originally, both Kakashi and Naruto can just consistently dodge all of these Senbon. After all, Naruto has the Rinnegan, allowing him to see things in slow motion, and Kakashi has experience and the 3 Tomoe Sharingan. And I would like to remind you that a 1 Tomoe Sasuke, who did have plot armor on his side, was able to dodge the Senbon. So if 1 Tomoe Sasuke can, these two can do it too. But afterwards, Haku stops going easy on them. And in the original, Haku was kind of avoiding their vital areas. But now, Haku is here to literally kill all of them. And as Sasuke keeps trying to pressure Haku from outside of the ice mirrors, basically doing almost nothing, Haku basically doesn't get affected by Sasuke. But what's more important is what's going on inside. And Kakashi and Naruto keep getting pressured and pressured and pressured, and it seems like they're not going to be able to make it. Now, this is when Haku goes full God mode and ends up hitting Kakashi in 3 of his vital points, almost killing Kakashi. And then Kakashi gets knocked out, and Haku also ends up hitting those areas he hit for Zabuza to make it seem like Zabuza was dead. And after that, just Kakashi drops down to the floor, seemingly dead. And Naruto checks up on him, saying, "No, Kakashi, no, come, you can't be dead. Wake up, no." And suddenly, tears start flowing down his eyes as he starts saying, "Haku." Actually, wait, he doesn't say that because he doesn't know Haku's name, but you killed Kakashi-sensei. And he just doesn't have any words as he screams out in pain and in suffering. And then a red aura goes around him. This is the QB influence. And this is just like he is in the original, where this is what he used to defeat Haku. But now he has the Rinnegan. And with this combined power of the Rinnegan and the Nine Tails chakra, the ice mirrors completely shatter, sending Haku flying. And Haku, looking at Naruto, realizes Naruto's a completely different person now. Naruto, this isn't the kid that he just saw earlier. This is somebody else. There's this incredible rage, but Haku can't give up on his mission and rushes in to kill Naruto. But Naruto is too fast, as Naruto goes behind Haku with blinding speeds and punches Haku into the ground. And Haku gets back up trying to fight him, but Naruto is already on his way to do another punch as Naruto punches Haku in the face, breaking Haku's mask, revealing Haku's face. And this doesn't... Now, sorry because the footage cut out like twice. But basically what I was saying is Naruto hasn't met Haku, so this doesn't really make a difference, as Naruto finishes Haku off with a missile. Now, then he has one last thing to do, as he rushes over to Kakashi's side thinking, is there anything I can do? Please, just heal Kakashi, anything, any way, just heal Kakashi. As this is when he unlocks the Naraka path, and using the Naraka path, he summons the King of Hell, and he looks up seeing this creature, the King of Hell, as it heals Kakashi, bringing him back to his full state. And Kakashi opens his eyes and he's like, what happened? Where am I? And Naruto's like, Kakashi, you're alive. I healed you. And Kakashi basically thanks Naruto, and Team 7 is happy. They celebrate. They're like, yay, we won. Sakura is useless again. And they just head over to Tasuna's house. Now, I'm going over all of this quickly because this is literally like the third time I'm recording this and the footage being deleted. It's happening a lot now. I don't know why all my footage is continuously being deleted all the time. This happened last time too, but I'll try to solve it. Anyways, they eat an incredible feast at Tasuna's house, and after that, they just help Tasuna build his bridge. And the only thing that does come up is when Gato and his men arrive at the last day, but Naruto really just takes care of them. He scales all the henchmen away and really just gives Gato to the villagers so that the villagers can do whatever they want to Gato, this man that has been making their life miserable. And with that, the bridge is still named the Great Naruto Bridge, and Team 7 heads back to the Leaf Village. And there they tell Hiruzen about how this was probably like a B rank or A rank mission. Hiruzen apologizes and pays them appropriately. But, right before Kakashi is going to announce the Chunin exams, that's probably where I'm going to have to end this video. So, last time we left off, Naruto and, the rest of Team 7 had just come back from their mission in the Land of Waves. Now, this is when they went up to Hiruzen, explaining that this wasn't a C rank mission, this was at the very least a B or A rank mission, and Hiruzen paid them appropriately. Now, Naruto, used this time mostly just to train, trying to use his new Naraka Path abilities, and also, the rest of his Rinnegan abilities, and just trying to improve at them. that's basically all Naruto did, just a bunch of training. But then it was time for the Chunin exams. Basically, Kakashi called all of them in, explaining them what the Chunin exams were, when they were gonna happen, and all of that sort of stuff. Now, at first, they didn't really understand it, but then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So this is how we get promoted to Chunin. And so they were like, yeah, of course we're gonna participate, why not? And Kakashi, expecting this response, was like, well, okay, then you can participate. And unlike in the original, where Kakashi really had to do a lot of persuading with Hiruzen to let Team 7 go in and participate in the Chunin exams, Hiruzen kind of literally just accepted it, because he already knows how OP Naruto is. So he was just like, yeah, you know what, Team 7 can participate. I don't have a problem with that. And yeah. Anyways, basically, they have about 1 week to train before the Chunin exams. And Naruto uses this time wisely, trying to teach Sakura and Sasuke basic things like taijutsu, and just generally training them, because, he wants to get his team better, and he's just doing stuff like sparring with them, just to make them as strong as possible. Now, Naruto is really strong already, having the Rinnegan and having access to 3 of the 6 paths of pain. Well, 7 if you include the outer path. And this really makes Naruto OP and already beyond Jonin level. After all, he was able to take out Haku and Zabuza, who are all definitely above Jonin level. So Naruto is definitely above Chunin level, and he's more than capable of passing this exam. And after a while, it's time. And Team 7 heads over to the exam arena area place to take the Chunin exams. Now, when they're at the area, Sasuke notices the obvious genjutsu and tells them to go upstairs. Now, Sakura also noticed this, and Naruto, I guess, was suspicious of the genjutsu, and he was like, you know what, this might be a genjutsu, but he doesn't really call it out, and then Sasuke does. Anyways, they go upstairs, and that is where they meet Rock Lee. So yeah, this is where they see Rock Lee, and Rock Lee immediately recognizes Sasuke. And I don't know if I said this, but I'm pretty sure Sasuke does end up getting Rookie of the Year. I don't know, what did I say? Honestly, if I said that Naruto got Rookie of the Year, just scratch that. No, Sasuke was Rookie of the Year, and nobody really likes Naruto, and also Rock Lee, knowing Sasuke's reputation as the last Uchiha, decides to challenge Sasuke. He's like, Sasuke Uchiha, will you fight with me? And Sasuke's like, fight with you? Why? There's really no point. And after some convincing on Rock Lee's part, he's like, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. Just let's get this over with. But Naruto and Sakura end up stopping Sasuke and being like, okay, listen, Sasuke, don't you think you need to save up your energy for the Chunin exams? You guys can settle this in the final exam or whatever you're gonna do. And both Rock Lee and Sasuke seem to be mostly satisfied with that answer, with Sasuke just saying, you better make it there, because if you don't, I'm gonna be pretty annoyed. And Rock Lee's like, yeah, you bet I'll make it. And they just head over to the waiting room area, place, whatever, that place where they met Kabuto. And they don't really need Kabuto's help, they don't really need him to do the whole card trick thing just to introduce Gara. Anyone watching this What If is probably already familiar with who Gara is, so yeah, we don't need that. And after that, they all get introduced to Ibiki, who's like, I am your instructor, and I will be your greatest enemy. And he introduces the test, and says how first there will be 9 questions and you have to get at least one of them right to pass. And then there will be the 10th question. I'll explain that later. And so everyone's like, very interesting, but I guess I'll have to try. And he also says the whole rules about cheating and peeking and all of that stuff. After Ibiki hands the test, everyone starts writing. And now Naruto is gonna kind of have to get creative to be able to pass this test, because, Sasuke has the Sharingan, Sakura is actually smart, but Naruto, what can he do? Well, Naruto does have the Rinnegan, so I'm assuming that the Rinnegan has some of at least the basic abilities of the Sharingan, like copying movements. So I'm just gonna say that Naruto is able to copy the movements of someone else, just like Sasuke did with his Sharingan, to get all the questions. Now, after this, Ibiki is like, well, that was all a tactical deception, and the real test begins in the 10th question. If you take it and you fail, you're barred from ever taking these exams again. But, if you go out now, you can just come back next year. And a lot of people leave, but Team 7 decides just to stay, along with a lot of other teams, and take their chances with the 10th question. And that is when Ibiki reveals that the 10th question didn't actually exist, and this was just a test, seeing if they were mentally, strong-willed enough to, take the question. So, yeah. Basically, he's like, yeah, you guys all pass, as Anko breaks in through the window, saying, hello, people, meet me next to the Forest of Death now. It's time for the second part of the exam. And everyone's like, yo, already? They're gonna give us, no breaks? Yeah. You know what? Fine. Let's just do it. And so, yeah, Team 7 and everyone else who passed heads over to the Forest of Death. Sorry, guys. Had some stuff to do, but I'm back. And I have a bit of a sore throat, so sorry if my voice doesn't sound really good. Anyways, so they meet by the Forest of Death, and Uncle gives them the whole, they sign the whole thing saying, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if I die, and all that stuff. And they're giving one scroll, and they head off to the Forest of Death. Now, when they head off, they're just going, and this ninja, comes in their way, and they're like, yo, who this? And that guy is actually Orochimaru. They don't know that yet, but we can skip past that part for now. Basically, it's Orochimaru in disguise, and Orochimaru's just like, Sasuke, and everyone's kind of creeped out by this guy, because he's really weird, and he's acting pretty weird, so they're all just like, okay, let's finish this guy off quickly and hope that he has the scroll we're looking for. And so Sasuke just attacks him and starts throwing kunai, but this guy just dodges all of them, even catching one. And Sasuke realizes he's actually really good. Most normal Genin level people who are participating here shouldn't be able to do that. And Naruto also runs in and just tries to punch Orochimaru, but Orochimaru just knocks him into the ground. He's like, Sasuke is the one I'm after. And slowly, Orochimaru comes over and extends his neck towards Sasuke. But in the nick of time, Naruto comes in, smashing Orochimaru's head into the ground using his Rinnegan. And when Orochimaru recovers and looks up, he sees Naruto's eyes, and for a moment, out of shock, he can't do anything. Those were the Rinnegan, the same eyes as Pain, as Naruto shoots a missile at him. It's basically sending Orochimaru flying, and Orochimaru's like, I need to get those eyes, as he rushes at Naruto again recklessly, but he tries to send a fire type jutsu at Naruto, but Naruto, using the Preta path, absorbs the jutsu, and he says, "Okay, run! This guy is way too strong," and just Orochimaru starts rushing at them, and Naruto doesn't know what to do. This guy is fast and strong. They can't beat him. As Sasuke turns on his one Tomoe Sharingan, which he does have at this point. I'm just gonna say he has it. Let's say unlocked it in the Land of Waves arc in part 2, which if you didn't watch, you should watch. And yeah, so Sasuke activates his one Tomoe, which doesn't really help him too much, because Naruto has the Rinnegan, so it's not really much compared to that, but it's still helpful. And he tries to fight Orochimaru and gets into that heated taijutsu battle, just like he does in the original, where he starts fighting Orochimaru with crazy hand-to-hand combat and does the whole wires thing, unlocks the two Tomoe Sharingan, and literally blasts Orochimaru's entire body off with a fireball jutsu, revealing that this person is actually Orochimaru. And when Naruto sees Orochimaru, although Naruto isn't the brightest and smartest person out there, let's just say he recognizes Orochimaru, as from under his breath he says, "Orochimaru? But how?" And Sasuke, also realizing this is Orochimaru, is like, "Okay, we better run." And so it's just they start running, and Orochimaru easily manages to get out of the wire trap that they set up and starts chasing them down again. But now Naruto knows it's his turn to fight, as he turns around and starts running at Orochimaru. Orochimaru's like, "You? Okay," as he reaches out and tries to grab Naruto's eyes, but Naruto already has a plan, as he literally reveals the new ability that he just learned. Okay, so I don't know if I told you this. I didn't, but basically during the whole time they had between the Land of Waves arc and the Chunin exams, basically between the Land of Waves and Chunin exams, he had some training time, 1 week of training time. I think I told you that. And during that, he mastered another path of pain. And this might be contradicting what I said earlier. I'm pretty sure I said he didn't learn anything, but too bad. He did. He learned another path of the Rinnegan. And now, you get to learn what it is. This is kind of OP, but I really don't care at this point. As Orochimaru is coming towards him, he says, "Almighty push," just extending his arm towards Orochimaru and sending Orochimaru flying across the entire area. And then he does the ability that I forgot the name of, where he creates a basically another planet. What is it? Huge planetary devastation. You know that jutsu that Sasuke used to capture the tailed beasts, and the jutsu that Pain used against Naruto when he was transforming into the Nine Tails. Basically, yeah, that jutsu, as Orochimaru literally just gets sucked into this planet, and Naruto uses the Almighty Pull 5 seconds later, because there's a cooldown, to Almighty Pull the scroll to himself, as he says, "Oh, lucky, just the scroll we were looking for." And Sakura and Sasuke, they're standing there, what on earth is this jutsu? What the heck was that? He literally destroyed the sky, created a new planet, and left a humongous crater inside the training area. And this guy, he literally destroyed one of the 3 legendary Sannin in 3 moves. Actually 2. The third one was just to get the scroll. So their jaws are dropped, and Naruto's like, "What are you looking at? Come on, let's go." and they just make it to the area in no time and actually break the record for the fastest completion of this part of the exam. Now, when they're there, they just have to wait for a while because, they're far ahead of everyone. Gara's team comes next because, they're also pretty good. And to be honest, Gara's like, yo, who's this other guy who just beat us? But he doesn't mind too much. And after all of that, waiting in that area for quite a bit, it's time for the preliminaries. And basically, the Hokage announces that there's going to be preliminaries, and the preliminaries start. I mean, there's not much to cover. It just happens. And Kiba versus Naruto. So Kiba's like, okay, I'm finally gonna prove what a great shinobi I've become. Finally, Naruto will be the perfect chance to prove my strength. After all, I've grown a lot, and Naruto is the perfect way to show everyone that I'm capable of becoming Hokage. And Kiba's just thinking this as he heads down, and Naruto's just like, okay, let's get this over with pretty quickly. And Kiba's like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you, Naruto. And Naruto's like, you're sure about that? And Kiba just rushes in straight up. First thing with Fang over Fang, just going right in at Naruto. And Naruto, he uses a weak version of the Almighty Push. I don't know why I'm making him use such an OP jutsu on Kiba. There's just really nothing too much better to... You know what? No. He doesn't use Almighty Push. That would kill Kiba. Basically, all he does is he activates his Rinnegan and just punches straight at the Fang over Fang. And he is so strong that he literally destroys the entire Fang over Fang with that punch. Like, the punch literally destroys the Fang over Fang. And Kiba gets... even if he's not knocked out, close to being knocked out enough that he literally can't continue. And after that, all the other matches go the exact same as in the original. Now this is when Naruto gets a 1 month training break time thing so that he can, get all of his energy back and train, I guess. And this is when he meets Jiraiya. So the way it happens is, after all this time, he was kind of like, he felt like he deserved some time to rest, and so he decided to head to the hot springs. Anyways, as he was heading over to the hot springs, he saw this person peeking into the girls' hot springs, and he was like, yo, who's doing this? And he immediately went in to interfere, asking him what he was doing. And Jiraiya being like, nothing. And he turned around, realizing this was, in fact, Naruto. And he's like, oh, this is Naruto. This is Naruto. And, this is interesting. And so, basically, Naruto's like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. And Jiraiya's like, what are you gonna do about it? And he says, I'm gonna stop you. And Jiraiya's like, I would like to see you try. I'm one of the 3 legendary Sannin. You're Jiraiya, the Toad Sage. And Naruto's like, yeah, I don't know if I believe you. And Jiraiya's like, yeah, well, you wanna spar? And Naruto's like, not spar, but you wanna fight? And Naruto's like, yeah, that's literally what I just said. And I was like, bro, this kid, he thinks he's so strong. He's nowhere near my strength. And anyways, Naruto's like, okay, so come on. And Jiraiya just heads over, and they start fighting. Now, Jiraiya immediately starts going in with all this summonings and doing the whole toad summoning and all of that stuff, trying to beat Naruto with that. And to be honest, Naruto is just trying to use nothing too much to beat Jiraiya at first, but then he has to reveal the Rinnegan. And Jiraiya, when he sees the Rinnegan, he's shocked at first, and he has no idea what to say. This is the eyes that Nagato had. And although he was incredibly shocked, he didn't say anything for the moment, and he just kept fighting. As Naruto was just, really just pretty much on Jiraiya's level at that point, using all the other paths of pain except for the Diva path to basically keep up with what Jiraiya was doing at that moment. And then, just when Jiraiya was starting to get the upper hand again, Naruto revealed his ultimate ability, as he said, Almighty Push, basically defeating Jiraiya in one move. And although Jiraiya wasn't defeated, sorry the video cut out, but basically what I was saying is this is probably a good time to end the video. So basically, last time we left off, Naruto was just heading over to the final stage of the Chunin exams. And basically what happens is he fights against Neji. And I don't even know if I want to go over it, because this is literally going to be way too easy for Naruto. Anyways, Naruto steps in, and Neji does his whole talk on destiny and how he's going to win and all of that stuff. Now, Naruto, not really caring, is like, yeah, you know what, come on, just fight me. Honestly, I won't even move from my place, and I can defeat you. And Neji was like, really? Bro, nah, you're really underestimating me. Underestimating me. And so Neji just literally rushes in with his Byakugan and goes straight in for the 60-fold palms thing. But Naruto's like, yo, you might have the Byakugan, but I have a stronger dojutsu. As he activates his Rinnegan and literally becomes One Punch Man, just punching Neji before he can do a single thing, almost knocking him out. It's like that uppercut that Naruto did in the original, but like stronger in the gut. And Neji goes flying, and Naruto is like, well, I did promise I wouldn't move from my spot, so I'll have to finish you off this way, and just sends a weak missile in Neji's direction using the Asura path, and Neji's knocked out. Not even close. All the other matches go the same. Shikamaru does the whole thing where he gives up, and eventually it's time for the battle between Sasuke and Gara. Since Sasuke did unlock his Tomoe during the fight with Orochimaru, he has learned the Chidori. So eventually, after trying to use Rock Lee's moves to defeat Gara, he resorts to using the Chidori, going back, gaining speed and strength, and just rushing straight in at Gara's big sand dome thing and stabbing the Chidori through. And this is just like the original, where Gara just screams out in pain, and Tamari and Conqueror just take him away. And this is when the Konoha Crush begins. Everyone gets put under a Genjutsu, and Kakashi and Guy are too busy trying to handle all the invading Sand Shinobi coming in, and Naruto is going off after Sasuke and Gara. So basically, meanwhile Orochimaru and Hiruzen are fighting. Now Naruto heads over, and he comes and arrives a lot earlier than in the original, finding Gara fighting with Sasuke. Now Naruto, seeing this, decides he has to help Sasuke, because right now Sasuke is kind of being destroyed. Even though he doesn't have the curse mark, Gara in his half-transformed state is still a bit stronger than Sasuke and has the upper hand. And so after Naruto joins the fight, he just uses a Shadow Clone Jutsu, doing exactly what not exactly, but something similar to what he did in the original, just using a huge barrage of clones to try and beat Gara. Now, this is when Gara fully transforms into, the full One-Tail state. And Naruto's like, okay, well, I guess gotta beat the One Tails with a summoning of my own. And he was about to summon Gamabunta, but when he realized, yo, I've got another summoning. So guys, sorry I had to cut there. I had to do something, but I'm back. Basically what he was saying is, I've got a summoning of my own that isn't Gamabunta or Jiraiya's summoning. So what he does is he summons the huge like wolf dog thing, that thing that can basically like grows more heads whenever you hit it. And so he takes summons that animal, and using that he absolutely destroys the One Tails. And just using the Rinnegan animals, the Rinnegan summonings allows him to easily wake up Gara, and he is able to wake him up and give him the Talk no Jutsu, turning Gara to the good side and also defeating him. Meanwhile, with Orochimaru and Hiruzen's fight, Hiruzen basically, once again, just has a lot of trouble fighting the first and second Hokage that Orochimaru reanimated. But after a bit of fighting, he's able to defeat them and seal away Orochimaru's arms at the cost of his own life. With that, Orochimaru escapes, and the Konoha Crush comes to an end. And although the plan of Orochimaru was a fail, Hiruzen still did end up dying. So, yeah, that's kind of sad. Anyways, afterwards, the Leaf Village is informed that they need a new Hokage. And, they ask Jiraiya, but Jiraiya says, "Nah, I'm not suitable for the job. You gotta ask Tsunade for that." And everyone's like, "Wait, where's Tsunade then?" So, Jiraiya and Naruto go off on a trip to look for Tsunade. And basically, during this trip, Jiraiya does end up teaching Naruto the Rasengan, because that's what he does in the original, and Naruto, now having the Rinnegan, being a prodigy, just masters it very, very quickly. Or did I say that Naruto already mastered the Rasengan during the 1-month training period? I don't know. Basically, Naruto masters the Rasengan. And in fact, during this trip, they'd never end up meeting Itachi and Kisame, because they're making progress a lot faster than expected, and Kisame and Itachi do not meet where they meet in the original, so they just don't really cross paths, and they don't really find each other. Anyways, one day, they were just continuing their trip, and they decided to take rest in a bar. Now, they came and sat inside this bar, and there was this person, being really noisy. Jiraiya and Naruto were just trying to talk. There was this person around the back, just this woman shouting stuff, and, they were being pretty annoyed. So they decided to, go over and complain, and then it turned out to be Tsunade, and Jiraiya was about to open his mouth and tell her to be quiet, but then he was like, "Tsunade?" And Tsunade just turned around, seeing Jiraiya, and like, "Jiraiya, what are you doing here?" And Jiraiya's like, "We were looking for you." And Tsunade's like, "Why do you want me?" And Jiraiya said that, they wanted her to be Hokage, and all of that stuff out. Basically, they want her to be Hokage for the Leaf Village, Hiruzen died, etc., etc. Now, Tsunade's reaction also doesn't change, where she declines the offer, insulting the Hokage, and that sort of stuff, which does make Naruto really mad. Naruto challenges her to a fight, and Tsunade immediately accepts, saying, "If you even touch me, you win, and I'll come be the Hokage. But if you can't, I'm staying." And Naruto's like, "Wow, you underestimate me, old woman." And she's like, "Old woman? Do you know who I am?" And Naruto's like, "You look pretty old to me." And she just got so mad, but she's just like, "Okay, I'll just take out all my anger on him during the fight. this kid's gonna be kind of unlucky to be finding me like this. And so she goes outside and she's like, okay, I'm gonna get revenge on you for saying that. And Naruto's like, yeah, let's just get on with it. And Tsunade's like, bro, just, oh my god, you know what, I'm just gonna, and she just runs in, like, with her fist, trying to punch Naruto. But all Naruto says is, almighty push. And Tsunade literally gets sent flying out of this, like, town. They were, like, in a small town area. She gets sent flying out of the town. That's just what happens. And, yeah. With that, Tsunade had lost the bet. And although being furious, she had to agree to come back to the village. Now, after that, the next day, they all packed their stuff, and Tsunade was just coming back to the village, but she was like, listen, kid, I want a rematch. And he was like, yeah, you can have your rematch when we get back to the village. And she's like, fine, but I'll beat you next time. And Naruto just kind of ignored her. But at the same time, she couldn't ignore the fact that Naruto was extremely powerful and did in fact destroy Tsunade in a single move. And what was that? It was an ability she had never in her life seen before. Was this a type of Kekkei Genkai? And why did his eyes turn purple? She had never seen those eyes before. They were scary and powerful. That's all she could think about, and she asked Jiraiya who the kid was, and he explained to her how this was Naruto, the son of the fourth Hokage himself. And this instantly shocked Tsunade, but at the same time kind of made sense, because Naruto was so strong that that's the only way that could be possible. And then Tsunade asked about his eyes, how that happened. Also, guys, sorry for all the interruptions, because my mom keeps walking into my room because she thinks I'm playing video games or something. So, yeah, she doesn't really know about my YouTube channel, and I'm not gonna be bothered to explain it to her. So, yeah. And I don't think she would approve of me spending like hours of my life trying to record videos for YouTube. So, anyways, back to the story. She asks Jiraiya about Naruto's eyes. And to be honest, all Jiraiya does is admits that he has no idea how he has them. Deciding to ignore the fact that he has, he decides not to tell Tsunade that he knows what the Rinnegan is. He just tells her that he doesn't know how Naruto got the eyes. And so Tsunade just puts it off, saying it's probably something about like the 9 tails or something like that. And after that, it's straight sailing ahead back to the Leaf Village. Or that's at least what you think would happen, because on their way, they come across Orochimaru, who had, once again, taken a lot more time to find them because of their incredible pace and the fact that they already were getting Tsunade back to the village. It took Orochimaru a long time to find Tsunade, but in the end, he had found Tsunade. So, yeah, Orochimaru showed up. The instant Orochimaru came, he recognized Naruto, saying, you're the kid from the exams. And he's like, those eyes, I need those eyes, and those eyes will be mine. But Naruto had gotten a lot stronger since the exams, where he absolutely wrecked Orochimaru with an almighty push. And Orochimaru hadn't gotten stronger. In fact, he had gotten weaker because now he can't use his arms. So, basically, I don't think there's too much of a chance that Orochimaru can get the eyes. Also, now Naruto has 2 of the other Sannin helping him out. And now, before Orochimaru rushes in, Kabuto stops him, advising him to wait for a second before attacking, and he says, maybe you should summon a snake. And what happens is the fight goes out almost exactly like in the original, where Orochimaru summons a huge snake, with Jiraiya responding with Gamabunta and Tsunade responding with a slug. Now, Naruto has the superior summoning, as he uses all of the animal paths animal summonings. And at this point, Orochimaru literally doesn't have a chance. I mean, I would go over the battle, but there's not much of a point, because think about it. Orochimaru Snake versus Gamabunta, the huge Tsunade slug thing, and all of the Rinnegan animal summonings. Like, it's just not even close. So, yeah, Orochimaru gets defeated and once again has to retreat. And with that, Team 7, well, no, not Team 7, Naruto and Jiraiya officially succeed in their mission to bring back Tsunade to the village. And yeah, that's basically all that happens. After that, we have the 3-year timescape. And this timescape is kind of where the series goes from Naruto's broken, but it's still kind of there, to Naruto's absolutely broken beyond anybody's reach. Because during the 3-year timescape, Naruto completely masters all paths of the Rinnegan, including the outer path. So, Naruto has complete mastery over all of the Rinnegan paths. He learned Sage Mode because he still did go training with Jiraiya. He got the Rasen Shuriken, and so Naruto's OP. That's basically what he did. He got Rasen Shuriken, he got Sage Mode, and he got the Rinnegan. And I know this is OP, because it is, but I mean, there's really no point in making Naruto really OP when you can make him really, really OP. There's not much of a difference, except when he's really, really OP, that's just even more fun to watch him destroy everyone, I guess. But don't worry, my next what if is going to be a bit more of a balanced one, where Naruto does actually have some trouble, and, you know, he does have some more trouble fighting against these people. Anyways, we move on, and Naruto finally comes back from this time skip, and immediately after meeting Sasuke and Sakura again, gets informed by Tsunade that Gara has been taken. So Naruto, knowing this, is like, okay, so where is Gara? And Tsunade explains the situation, saying that the Sand Village was attacked, and the Kazekage, aka Gara, was now taken by, presumably, the Akatsuki. So Naruto, hearing this, is like, yo, the Akatsuki took Gara? Nah, I ain't letting this happen. So Team 7 immediately rushed over to the Sand Village, with them arriving just like they did in the original, taking all the information and trying to get head to the Akatsuki Akatsuki base, hideout, not layout. So basically, they end up looking for a while, but after enough time, they end up finding the area. And there, they also meet Sasori and Deidara. To say this plays out just like in the original would be a lie, because Naruto now has the Rinnegan, and the instant Naruto sees Deidara and Sasori, he immediately activates it. This catches the attention of both of them, because after all, you know, this was the eyes that Pain had, and, you know, he was their leader, and they knew how strong he was, so was Naruto that strong too? And also, if my voice sounds really weird, it does, because I have a bit of a sore throat, and yeah, that's why. Anyways, so basically what happens is Naruto literally destroys them, taking, with Deidara trying to escape, being captured in Naruto's planetary devastation, and Sasori trying to fight him, but then eventually being destroyed by all of his Rinnegan path abilities, because Naruto is currently stronger than almost all of the members of the Akatsuki. Now, after this, they find Gara, who is dead because the extraction process has already finished and Gara died. But Granny Chio, if that was her name, was able to use her special ability, sacrificing her life for the life of Gara. And yeah, basically, Gara gets revived, she dies, and Gara's back. And after bringing Gara back to the Sand Village, honestly, Team 7 just comes back and they just finish their mission. They celebrate and stuff. And for a while, nothing happens. The Akatsuki don't make any moves because for now, they have no idea what to do. After all, Sasori and Deidara just disappeared and they have no idea what happened. So they're kind of scared and they're just trying to understand what happened and plotting against everyone else, just trying to make plans. Now, in the Akatsuki base, they would eventually find out that it was Naruto who did all of this, and immediately afterwards, they would come up with a plan, saying that they would have to kill Naruto. Naruto would have to be their first target, or else Naruto would end up causing a lot of trouble for them. So that's what they decided to do, and they got all of the Akatsuki members, including none other than Obito, to come in and fight, as they all came to the Hidden Leaf Village. Now, Team 7, and actually a lot of the other people in the Leaf Village were prepared, because think about it, if the Akatsuki has Kisame, the Leaf Village has Might Guy, who can defeat him with 7 of his gates. If Itachi has... it's really quite a fair battle. So when the Akatsuki arrive, they immediately start fighting. And Guy, as you might have guessed, takes on Kisame. And using 7 out of the 8 gates, Guy is able to defeat Kisame. Now, Sasuke starts fighting Itachi, and right now, Itachi is just as strong as he was when he fought Itachi in the original. He has a 3 Tomoe, and he has Kirin, so he's basically as strong, but he doesn't have the curse mark, which is mostly the only difference. And, Itachi's actually kind of like a double agent here, because he's technically trying to protect the village, so yeah. And basically, except for that, when Pain comes in, Naruto takes on Pain. And Naruto and Pain is a perfect matchup because they're both users of the Rinnegan. And at first, it's a very close tie. Naruto is able to take out one of the paths of Pain that, Pain has, Nagato has, but, it's pretty hard to fight all of them at the same time, especially when the Naraka path is summoning the King of Hell to literally just regenerate all of them. But Naruto, being a user of all the paths himself, is able to take out the Naraka path using the Naraka path of his own, which is kind of funny. Well, he just uses his paths to be Pain's paths, and eventually all that's left is the Diva path. And this is when things get tricky, because it's basically even, except for the fact that Naruto's just barely stronger, but Pain has a bit more experience, so it's pretty even. But this is when Naruto turns the tables by activating Sage Mode. And after using Sage Mode, sending a Rasen Shuriken, and then using all paths of Pain, he defeats the Diva path as well, And Nagato has no option but to give up because Konan is actually here helping the Paths of Pain fight, and Naruto also is able to take her out, so he doesn't really have to worry about her paper stuff and her helping the real Nagato come and fight. Anyways, after that, we move on to the rest of the battle, where all the other Akatsuki members are being taken care of. Hidan gets killed by Shikamaru, and Kakazu, Naruto also takes care of Kakazu, and eventually, although the Akatsuki are causing lots of damage, everyone's taking, the Akatsuki are being defeated. Now, Itachi puts Sasuke under the Infinite Tsukuyomi, and basically ends up escaping in the meantime, because while Sasuke thinks he's actually fighting Itachi just kind of escapes in real life, if you understand what I mean. And so Sasuke's pretty mad that Itachi was able to escape that easily, so he's gonna try and find Itachi again. But to be honest, for now, it's just he has bigger problems to deal with. Except he realizes that all the members are gone, except for one. And the one remaining would be Obito, as he would come swirling in with his mask. And Naruto, seeing this, is like, yo, this guy, I'm gonna kill him. And Sasuke is also after him, including Kakashi and literally everyone in the village. And think about it, Obito doesn't even have the Rinnegan right now, so it's like a one versus everyone. And with Naruto with the Rinnegan on their team, Naruto can use the Rasengan on him, and after Kakashi discovers that their two pocket dimensions match up, Kakashi can use his Kamui to kind of deflect Obito's Kamui, if that makes sense. And eventually, Naruto lands a Kamui right into Obito's face. And after that, it gets revealed who Obito is. And Kakashi just pauses for a second, saying, Obito? Wait, that's you? You're alive? And Obito, knowing that he's defeated, tries to escape, but fails. And, since he's kind of just avoiding talking to Kakashi, because he doesn't want to have this conversation now, he keeps running. And honestly, he just keeps running until Naruto just kind of kills him with the black chakra rods of the Rinnegan path. And you're gonna be like, wait, he just died? That's kind of lame. But first of all, I'm out of ideas, which is actually the main reason. But second of all, Obito was defeated, and his face did kind of get destroyed by a Rasengan. So all he could do was run, and then Naruto didn't know that he was Kakashi's friend, so he just killed Obito. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the end. The Akatsuki are dead, and that's all. I think I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, I am. Itachi also eventually, this is later, I'm kind of like time skipping, because I really want to end this what if and get the movie out. So basically, what happens is, Itachi does end up coming back later, like years later, and explains to Sasuke everything that happened, and Sasuke barely forgives him, and Itachi barely survives, and I guess they find a cure to his disease, and Itachi does end up surviving, and they all live happily ever after, I guess, until Ishiki comes, which is gonna be a interesting thing to watch, but that's not happening in this what if. So I'm sorry that I didn't have any good ideas for this ending, but that's gonna be it, and I'll see you guys next time.